welcome back, and today we're going to be looking at mood boards for OCR Creative iMedia R081 Theory Examination. So first thing first, what is a mood board? So mood board is a pre-production document which is used by fashion designers, graphic designers, architects, anyone who needs to design something, to show samples of colours, textures, materials, fonts, inspirational work, anything like that. Now the whole point of a mood board is to allow you to generate visual ideas about how the product in question should look. The idea is you then create a mood board, you take it to your client or your manager or whoever's the next sort of the person needs to okay it, and then you get the okay, you get the green light, and then you move on to the next stage of the design process. Now you can see I have bolded and underlined generate visual ideas. If you get a question asking you what is the purpose of a mood board, you write a purpose of a mood board is to generate visual ideas. That's it. If it asks you to explain a bit more detail, you might need to say generate visual ideas about whatever the product is to then show to the client, something like that. But if it's a one mark or not very many mark answer, generate visual ideas should be absolutely fine, but we'll cover that later on. Now, a mood board contains a variety of different elements depending on the project. So if it's for a website, you're not going to have swatches for different types of material or different textures. Whereas if you're making a dress, then you probably would have that. Now, mood boards will often specify additional things such as maybe lighting type, say if you're doing a movie, or it might even have like inspirational styles or artists. Say if you're creating a poster, you might have some really good images of posters that you like. Now, where are mood boards used? So mood boards are used with things like interior design and fashion to highlight styles and trend, which and it can also show the different relationships between different designs. It's used for creating websites, for graphic design. They're used in lots of different design sort of agencies. Now the benefits of a mood board, they help you get a base idea of what kind of thing you want to make. They're very cheap to make. Pictures are free 9 times out of 10. So get your pictures off the internet and use them, or cut them out of a magazine, whatever it is. It allows you to show this to the user or the client and say, right, do you like this look I'm going for? I really like the idea of this. And they say yes or no before you move on. And it can reduce further frustrations. So if you just went ahead and made your design, you created a prototype, then went back to the user and said, hello client, do you like this? And they go, no, those colours are gross, why did you pick that? Then that can be really, really annoying. So you get a series of colours you want, a series of ideas you want, you show it to them, they choose which one they like, and then you take that further. And the last benefit is they are quite fun to make. Getting pictures and putting them together, it's quite nice, and you can make them look quite decent. So we've got some examples of some mood boards there. So here's more of a physical mood board, not a digital mood board. Probably for, decorating a house or something. You see it's got materials, it's got colours, it's got lots of different things. We've got one for maybe a wedding or dressmaking, something like that, where it's got the colour swatch. That's those 3 colours at the top, and different like flower designs, things like that. You've got another one for a wedding, like a festival themed wedding. You've got one for some dresses or some clothes. I think it looks like it's a jacket of some sort. So what does a mood board contain? Now this is really important that we understand what a mood board can have. Now, depending on the question, you're going to write different things, but there are some ones that you can probably get away with for any question you get. First one's colour. 90% of mood boards are going to have colour on them. If you go back through the previous ones, I don't think there's any of those that don't have colours. Typography. So most of them have some form of font. So instead of writing typography, you could just write fonts or text. So 9 times out of 10, there's going to be some fonts. You've got things like textures. Now, textures is a little bit more appropriate for physical mood boards, not digital ones. So read the question. And more for things to do with like dresses and things you actually can touch and feel. You've got lighting and composition, so you might put the lighting if it's for a film, maybe not lighting if you was doing a poster, and it has composition showing where you want to lay things out potentially. Then you've got sort of compositions, layout and style sort of go together, sort of how you want things to be positioned. Then you've then got images. Now, mood board is a thing of images, so I'll cover that in a second, but we've already got 3 that are definitely going to be on there, which is colour, text and images. And images you can also say drawings potentially as well. So I think we can probably say a safe bet. If you say colours, text and images, if it is 3, then you've definitely got 3 marks. Last one, maybe actually take a look at the actual question. If it's a dress, you say write materials. If it's for a website, you might say examples of websites. If it's for a children's magazine, you might say images of children's toys or something. You know, think of something that's appropriate. It's really important that you don't repeat yourself. So you can't say images of dresses, then images of corsets and images of shoes if it was maybe for a fashion designer, because that's 3 the same thing. Sometimes mark schemes are quite nice and they say, yeah, you can say images of this and images of that, or you might say photographs of dresses and then hand-drawn designs of other dresses. Sometimes they let you get away with that, but I think it's better off if we don't do that and we say things like colours, fonts, text, images. Stick with them. Okay, so just like on the previous video, I'm going to go through a sort of made-up exam question that you might potentially get. So again, we've got the TE Games created a horror video game based on a time traveling adventure. And now this time, instead of a mind map, is going to create a mood board. So first things first, 2-mark question, describe the purpose of a mood board. So this kind of question, you're going to be looking for a similar answer to what I said in the PowerPoint. So purpose of a mood board is to generate visual ideas. So generate visual ideas for the game. Now we could go a little bit more detail if you want to and say maybe to show the client Now, I've probably gone a little bit overboard with this one, but I've said generate visual ideas for the game to show the client before creating the prototype game. That's the kind of thing we're looking for. Now, question B says state 2 items that could be included on a mood board. So we go simple again, so we say text, images. Now, for a game, we could have said things like images of characters. You know, we could have said text, we could say fonts as well. Now, when you answer these questions, what you don't want to do is say text, fonts. Now, it depends on your examiner, but the sort of main rule of thumb is if you've written 3 things and it's asked for 2 in the question, we'll mark this one and this one. We'll mark text and we'll mark fonts. We won't mark images. So write them separately. Text and fonts are 2 different points. So if I'm honest with you, that wouldn't be too bad in this example, because we've written text and fonts and they're 2 valid answers, you'd get 2 marks. But just be careful when you are answering. But text, fonts, we could say images, we could say drawings. So drawings would have been fine. We might have said colours. It's a game, so you could have got away with lighting styles. So if it's going to be like a gritty black and white game with loads of shadows and things like that, there's lots of things you could have added for that one. Now, next question is one from a past paper, or similar to a past paper. I think it was 6 years ago. So identify 1 item of hardware that can be used to capture content to be used on a digital mood board. Now, this question is really easy. What threw people off is they're thinking, what do you mean capture content for a digital mood board? Well, if you was creating a physical mood board, if you wanted a picture of something, you'd just cut out of a magazine, or you'd just print something off to cut out and stick in. What we're talking about here is something physical 10 into digital. Okay, so a camera would work. So we've got a camera. Now, one thing I would say is if you're going to say camera, you want to be saying a digital camera, because you might get a mark scheme that says do not accept camera, because it might mean an old disposable one with a film and things, so that wouldn't work. So we've got a digital camera. Then you can also say a scanner. So put the image into the scanner and scan it into the computer, something along those lines. Okay. Some students in the past I've seen have written smartphone. That would be wrong. Yes, you would use your smartphone, it is a piece of hardware, but it's the camera of the smartphone that you're actually using. Anyway, I hope this helps, and I hope if you do get a mood board question that you think about this video and you get those full marks. Even though it's only 5 marks for this question, it's only out of 60, so that's still, a decent chunk of marks, and these 1 or 2 mark questions you want to be nailing absolutely all of them throughout the entire exam. Fair enough losing some marks on the bigger answers, but these ones should be the ones we're getting. Now, if you want to see a mood board question where you've got to generate a mood board yourself, you've got to create one in an exam, there is another video specifying how you do that specifically quite early on. You have to scroll down quite a bit on my channel, okay? But if you search in the videos, you look for mood board question, it should come up. And if you enjoyed that, please, keep having a look, subscribe, check out some of the other videos. I am going to continue and try and do all of them in bits of theory. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.